Hi guys, I'm Niki Eifert and welcome back to my channel. As you know, I recently traveled to Paris over the summer. But before traveling, I did some research to prepare for unexpected events. And I came across something called culture shock. Now I know that you guys know what this means, but if you don't, it means that one person changes their environment to another and it has a very big effect on them. So I read up on all of the culture shocks people had in the past when going to Paris. But now, coming back from my trip, there's many things that I've read that really didn't affect me. So today we're going to talk about culture shocks when going to Paris and if it affected me or not. Kiss on the cheek greeting. Mwah, mwah. This didn't affect me at all because in Peru, where I used to live, everybody greets with kisses on the cheek. I actually really like the greetings with the kisses because it makes you feel more at home, more in family, and makes you just feel more comfortable with the people you're around. So no, it didn't really affect me. Number 2, language. Yes, this affected me a lot. Je ne connais pas le français. So I feel that was a barrier for me for when I wanted to ask a question or ask for directions. Thankfully, Paris is a very touristic place, which means that many people speak English, so I could find a few people who could help me out. But overall, that was a very big culture shock for me because I'm walking down the streets and everybody's talking another language that I can understand. They could be talking about me and I won't know. So yeah, culture shock. Excessive smoking. Yes, this was a big culture shock because in Paris, everybody smokes and it's completely normal. But where I live here in Florida or even down in Peru, people do not smoke as much as people from Paris. I remember I arrived to Paris, I was very excited, and I walk out the front doors of the airport and the first thing I smell is smoke. I look around and everybody is smoking and I'm like, oh wow. And I did not expect so many people to be smoking. As I said, it's completely normal for people to smoke a lot in Paris, and it doesn't really affect the people who live there at all. But for me, it did. It did affect me a lot. Number 4, if you want water, buy a bottle of water. There aren't any water fountains at the mall, at the airport. This is a yes and a no, because in Peru, you want water, then you buy bottled water. But since I've been living here in the States for a few years, I've gotten used to accessible water anywhere you go. It didn't really affect me a lot. I just had to readapt to the situation. I think that is mostly what happened in this scenario. So yes and no. Number 5 is time change. Yes, this did affect me because from Miami to Paris, there's 7 hours apart and that is a lot of time. The first night I slept in Paris, I woke up the next morning and I felt very exhausted and a little dehydrated as well. But after a couple of hours, I readjusted and I felt great. So it was a culture shock for me, it affected me, but thankfully, as humans, we can readjust to different situations, so it was good. Last but not least, number 6 is the traffic. No, this really didn't affect me at all. Traffic is a little crazy in Paris. I think it's because of the small roads, and I think that just jams up traffic. In Peru, the traffic is really crazy as well. I'm completely used to it, so it didn't affect me at all. As we can see, culture shock is based on each person and their own personal experience. If you guys want to know a little bit more about culture shock, don't forget that I have a blog and it's on my website and you can click it on the description below. This is the video for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, you had fun, and that this can encourage you to go out there and travel and make your own experiences and figure out what shocks you and what doesn't. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video as well. C'est la vidéo pour aujourd'hui. À bientôt dimanche. Au revoir.